Hi guys, welcome to this week's Accumulator Predictions on Saturday the 26th of August. Have to be a quick one today, I'm running really late as you can see at the time of the video is going up. We've had a good week this week. We've had a few wins, I think we've had 4 or 5 wins. I think obviously if you'd have backed all the tips this week you'd be well in profit, so it's been a good week all round. So let's jump straight into the predictions this week. So we've got a 5-team accumulator paying around the 30 to 1 mark. So we jump straight into the Premier League and we start off with the early kickoff, which sometimes can be a bit of a curse going for the early kickoff. You don't want your Accumulator to be down before the 3 o'clock games have even started, but yeah, we're going to go with this one because we're pretty confident that Man City are going to do the business away at Bournemouth. So Bournemouth not had the greatest start to the season, lost their opening 2 games, managed to get a win in the Carabao Cup. Can't get on saying that yet, still the Coca-Cola on the Wellington to me. But yeah, they managed to get a little bit back on track with that, but they're going to be coming up against a far tougher opposition tomorrow in City, who got off, not a bad start. Good away win against Brighton on the opening day. Followed that up with the draw at home against Everton, which I think played its big part in regards to the sending off of Kyle Walker. At the time they were already behind, but I do feel if they'd have kept 11 men on the pitch for the majority of the game, they would have gone on to win that one, and probably should have done anyway. With 10 men, they pretty much dominated that second half, but couldn't quite get that second goal to take that victory. I think tomorrow they'll have a little bit too much attacking threat. Bournemouth have been, letting goals in, especially at home, going to the back end of last season as well. So, with City's, as we know, with their strike force with Jesus and Aguero, De Bruyne, Silva, etc., Sane, I think they'll just have way too much for Bournemouth. So we're just going to go with a home win there. Carrying on with the away wins, we drop down to League One. And I'm going to go with Doncaster Rovers to win away at Wimbledon. Now, Wimbledon were an early season tip for me in my predictions. I thought they would have had a good season. Still a long way to go yet, we're only in the infancy of the season. But yeah, so far they just seem to be struggling to find that back of the net. Confidence is pretty low at the club at the moment in time. And I think a visit from Doncaster is probably the last thing that they need. Darren Ferguson's men are coming in on a massive high, really. Winning games, scoring goals at this moment in time, scoring plenty of goals. Darren Ferguson's teams have always been very attack-minded. When he was at Peterborough and on the 2 separate occasions, they were the masters of winning the games 4-3, 5-4. So he does like to go out and attack, and I fully expect them to go out and attack Wimbledon tomorrow. As I say, fragile in front of their home fans. Doncaster get an early goal, they could win by 2 or 3 here. And I just think with the firepower that Doncaster's got at the moment in time, and the fragility of Wimbledon and the form that they're in at the moment in time, I think Donny will get that victory. So the next game for me is going to be Peterborough. I'm tipping them to win away at Northampton. So again, another away win. Again, Peterborough, pretty similar to Doncaster. Great start to the season, scoring plenty of goals, up near the top of the table, and yeah, they're looking a good bet to make a good promotion push this season. Contrast that to Northampton, who've had a dreadful start. I think they managed to score their first goal last week against Charlton, but they were on the wrong end of 4 goals from Charlton in that one. So a 4-1 defeat is hardly going to inspire any confidence there. I just think Northampton, again, in front of their home fans, confidence is so low. Not scoring goals. Lost Taylor this week as well to Swindon, Matt Taylor, so that's a blow to them. Good experience head in there. And I just think Peterborough, again, with the high that they're on, they're scoring goals pretty much for fun. I think they'll have a little bit too much for Northampton there. The next game is going to be, we'll drop into the conference, shall we? First time we've sort of visited, the National League, as it's called, and we're going to be looking at the game between Sutton United and Maidstone. and we've got a fancy for Sutton. Now, Sutton have started the season tremendously well. We all remember them from last season's cup exploits, getting all the way and eventually losing to Arsenal after beating Leeds, etc. But they've started the season really, really well in the National League so far. They come up against a Maidstone team who've not had the best of starts. They managed to get a win in their last game at home against Wrexham, but it was only by sort of the odd goal, and outside of that, away from home so far this season, they have suffered 2 defeats against Leyton Orient, and I think it was Ebbs Fleet without scoring a goal. And as I say, I think Sutton will probably just have a little bit too much for them at the moment in time at home. They've already played twice at home this season. I think they won both games. And yeah, they're looking pretty strong at this moment in time. So I think we definitely fancy to Sutton to get that home win tomorrow. Sorry, we jumped a league there, but yeah, League 2 sees our last game, which is Swindon Town versus Crawley Town. I think I've tipped Crawley to lose nearly every week so far this season. Yeah, and unfortunately, I just can't see it change at the moment in time. I just think Harry Kuehl is really finding life tough in League 2, as are Crawley, and I don't think they've really recovered from the loss of their talisman, James Collins, who went to Luton in the summer. He scored the majority of their goals last season. I think you can see, I think they've only scored 2 goals so far this season in all competitions, and they've conceded, I think they've conceded 10 so far, and yeah, I just think they're going to be on the wrong end of another defeat this weekend. Swindon's had a bit of a mixed start to the season. Not won at home yet, but they've only played the one game against Exeter, which I fully expect Exeter to be thereabouts at the top of the table. But they have picked up a couple of wins on the road, and Swindon's got a lot of new players, and they're just starting to bed in, I think, now. And I think Swindon will just have too much for a Crawley team, who I think are almost sort of absolutely down on their knees with form and luck at the moment in time. Yeah, and I think it's a good solid bet for that home win. So yeah, that's it really. As I say, short and sweet this weekend. We'll be back again next weekend. It's international break, so we're just looking at League 1 and League 2. So it'll probably be a bit of a tougher pick, but fingers crossed this one drops in. Until the next time, thanks a lot. Speak to you soon. Bye.